Okay, so I'm going to show you how to attempt to, or at least to start on the sky, how to make this sky and add those clouds in there. And to do that, I've set it up with the photograph on top and the same size document below, or I've adjusted, correct way to say this, I've adjusted the canvas size so that I have this below. Now I've created another layer underneath to get that deep blue sky. What I'm going to do is go ahead and select the color using the eyedropper. Now whenever I do that, you don't necessarily have to take it right from there, but you can look at it and say, you know what, I want it a little darker, or I want it a little lighter, and adjust it. Remember, this doesn't have to be exactly the way it looks on there. So I've got low opacity. I'm going to beef it up a little bit because I really want it to be dark, and I want it to be fairly quick that I do this. So I'm starting with the soft brush technique, airbrush, clicking, getting that really dark sky in there. And I'll make sure it's darker at the top. It gets lighter as it goes down. That's all normal. And now I can add the pink. Get the pink. I can take the eyedropper and get it that way. Then look at it and say, hey, you know what? I want it to be a little bit more purple, or I want it to be a little more whatever. You can always adjust it. Don't take for granted that what you see is going to be exactly what you need all the time. So add that in there. Nice and bright pink. There's definitely more of an orange on the other side here, so I'm going to kind of maybe work a little bit of that in there and bring my opacity down for this. So it's a little orange on that side, and maybe I'll go for a little bit more blue in there, that color blue. Let's see what it looks like. Maybe a little brighter like that. Just lightly bring it in here. Alright, so now I've got what I want for the background of my sky. I'm going to go ahead and lock that layer, add another layer, and let's do some clouds. The quick way to do these clouds is to take a soft brush, go ahead and get that really bright pink color, or whatever color it is, adjust it to wherever you want it to be, and then take the soft brush, and this time really small. And depending, so there's basically some of it is just really, really soft, misty kind of a color, and then some of it's much more, how do you say, intense, I guess. So they kind of radiate, the clouds kind of radiate out from towards this, what do you call the sunset there, or the sunrise. I guess it's a sunset. I'm not really sure how you tell the difference. Okay. Now, keep in mind that as I'm doing all this, you don't really have to. You don't really have to actually make it exactly the way it looks. Okay. So notice I'm going really soft now, a bigger brush around it. Okay. And I'm gonna get some even more soft brush in there, or actually not soft brush, but I'm going to bring the opacity up, and I'm going to actually make it really bright here, actually, or brighter, smaller though, and to get some of those really deeper, more intense colors that are in that sky. And again, you don't have to make it exactly. Just kind of work with what you see. Let's get more pink in there and get that really purpley pink kind of color. Actually, it's more orange, isn't it? Especially over in here. Bring the opacity down here. That orange area going in there. And if you notice, there's some really deep purple in there. So let me get that deep purple color. There's even some red in there. Alright, so then once you kind of get this stuff in there, I just want to get some really bright color here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take this smear tool and you're going to just start smearing it to make it look like the wind is pushing it all around, swirling or whatever it's doing. Let me zoom in here so you can actually see what this tool does. So I've laid those colors in there, and you take the blend tool or the smooth tool and you just start going back and forth with the brush, and it just kind of makes it, smooths it out, makes it swirly. Get, make it really look wispy, like the wind is blowing it around. You can really move the color with this thing. It's like you take your finger and start smoothing it. Oops, that's the wrong thing. It's this tool. Oops, wrong tool. That was eraser tool. It's this tool. There we go. So it's kind of fun to play with this. It buffers a little bit if you're making the brush really big, it'll buffer a little bit. Alright, so you get the idea of how this tool works to make it look like that sunset. Let's take a look at what I've done so far. Okay, it's not exactly like it, but it gives you an idea of how this works. You can play around with these. Oops, turn that down. But it gives a really intense look to everything. Now, once you get done with the clouds, you get them moved around, add as much, or you can erase even. You can bring the eraser in and say, okay, I put too much here, if you think. Anyways, once you get it the way you want to add that tree and stuff on the foreground. But as far as that, what we call the sun in the middle, let me show you how I would do that. Turn these clouds off for a second. To do that sun, because that might be something that you'd want to do early on, which, by the way, if you did the water, you'd probably have a really dark color here for the water. Just kind of get that in there really quick, just so that I have something something to see, something for the sunset to go over is what I'm trying to do. So now I've got my brush, make it really big. I'm just going to do this water really quick. Notice I use the marquee tool to get that nice level water. Of course, it's got the wrong color there, but that's okay. It's just not that. The more purple color in there. Alright, so you got that. Now let's put the sunset in there. I'm going to put that on a different layer. The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to take this really bright pink color, and I'm going to make a really big soft, well, not really big, but a big soft brush, and just kind of start dabbing it softly in the middle here. Get the wrong color here. It's got to be more pinkish, more reddish, I guess. Try this color. Make my brush even bigger. So you get this kind of really bright glare like that. Then I can come in with more of an orange color. Make that smaller. Get that orange kind of glow there. And then right in the center, we'll go for that really bright yellow. making it smaller. See, that's how you get that glow right there. Turn my clouds back on. Okay, so you can see how you would do this particular one. All right, so spent a lot of time on this particular sky and clouds, but we'll try to do another recording of how to do skies as well. Thanks for watching.